Hello students, so in today's class we are going to learn the first derivation of your course, that is electric field at an axial point of a dipole. So in the previous lecture we saw what is an electric dipole. So electric dipole, let's revise a little bit. So what was an electric dipole? So electric dipole was a pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance. So I had a plus q charge, I have a minus q charge, okay, which are separated by a particular distance, okay, of 2a, center to center distance. Okay, so this is an electric dipole, a pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance. Okay, we also saw that the total charge of an electric dipole is 0, but the electric field of an electric dipole is not 0. Next point we saw was an electric dipole moment. So what was electric dipole moment? It was a vector. Okay, electric dipole moment is a vector quantity whose magnitude is either charge times, that is q times either charge, okay, because these two charges are equal and they are equal in magnitude. You can take any one of them. So q and q, same thing. Okay, so q times the distance of separation between them, that is 2a. Okay, so this was electric dipole moment, which was denoted by p, and it is a vector quantity. So since there is a vector on one side, we have to have a vector on the other side. So we convert this distance into displacement and call it as a displacement vector. Okay, so this is p, that is electric dipole moment, which is always directed from minus q to plus q. So the direction of p is going to be like this, from minus q charge to the plus q charge. Okay, so this is what we saw in the previous class. We also saw physical significance of dipole. So in today's class we are going to see the electric field at an axial point of the dipole. So this is your first derivation. So let us draw the diagram for this derivation now. Okay, so first let's draw a dipole, a simple dipole. Okay, so basically a dipole consists of minus q charge and a dipole consists of plus q charge, which is separated by a particular distance. Let's consider that this distance is 2a. Okay, that is center to center distance. So if we consider a center point of this dipole, this distance is going to be, to the center is going to be a, and this distance from here to here is again going to be a. Okay, that is, I have considered exactly the center of the dipole here. Okay, so next we will mark the dipole moment. So it always goes from minus q to plus q, negative to positive charge. So your dipole moment p is going to go this way, from minus q to plus q. Okay, so now we have to consider a point on the axis of the dipole. That is, we have to find out the electric field at an axial point on the dipole. Now what is the axis of the dipole? Basically, if you see here, this is the axis of the dipole. The line which is joining the 2 points is the axis. So basically, if I draw a straight line passing from minus q to plus q, this is going to be the axis of the dipole. Okay, so along this axis, let us consider one point. Okay, so I'll consider that point on the plus q side. Okay, you can take it on this side also. The result is going to be same. So I'll consider the point over here. Let's consider that this is the axis I have produced. Okay, this is the axis, understand this. Okay, so I have considered a observation point P on the axis of the dipole. Okay, so now at this point we are going to find out the net electric field which is produced due to this dipole. So now what is an electric field? Electric field is nothing but, supposing I want to find out electric field at this particular point, I place a plus 1 coulomb charge, okay, at this point here. Okay, so the net force, the electrostatic force or the coulomb force experienced by this 1 coulomb charge due to this source charges, that is plus q and minus q. These are source charges which will be putting force on this plus 1 coulomb charge. This is test charge. So the force experienced by this plus 1 coulomb charge due to this source charges is nothing but electric field. Correct, no? That is, basically the expression is E is equal to F upon Q, force experienced by 1 unit. So Q will turn into 1. Okay, so F upon Q, which is equal to 1 in this case. Okay, so it is nothing but electric field is equal to the electrostatic force experienced by the 1 coulomb of charge. Okay, and what will be the direction of electric field? We know electric field is a vector quantity. So what is going to be the direction of electric field after application of the force? In which direction that +1 coulomb charge will move? The same direction will be the direction of electric field. Supposing it moves that side, the electric field will be this way. Supposing this charge moves this side, electric field will be this way. Okay, as simple as that. So if you see, this is a vector quantity, this is a vector quantity. The direction of force and the direction of electric field is one and the same over here. Okay. Next, so let's find out the electric field direction first, okay, due to individual charges. So which one is closer? If you see, plus Q is closer than minus Q. Okay, let us define the direction, let us define the distance of this point P first from the center of the dipole. So let's consider that the distance of the point P, that is observation point, from the center of the dipole is R. Okay, so let's consider that this distance from here to here is R. Okay, now let us write down or let us draw the directions of the electric field due to individual test charges. Before that, let us understand which field will be stronger. Field due to plus Q will be stronger or field due to minus Q will be stronger. So obviously the field which is generated at point P due to plus Q will be stronger. Why? Because plus Q is closer to this point P than minus Q. Minus Q is far away. So electric field due to plus Q will be higher or greater than the electric field due to minus Q. This we need to understand. Okay, so let's write down the direction. Okay, so now for an individual plus Q, for a positive charge, we have already seen that the direction of the electric field is radially outwards. In the electric field line configuration, we have seen this. Okay, so how will we mark the direction of electric field? It should be outwards. So from point P, the direction of the electric field due to plus Q will be radially outwards. It will go out. Okay, so this is your E due to plus Q, which is a vector quantity. Okay, similarly, the electric field due to minus Q will be how much? For a negative charge, the electric field is always radially inwards. Correct? No, electric field lines emerge from positive charge and at negative charge. Correct? So basically, it is going to go inward for a negative charge. So at point P, this is going to be the electric field due to negative charge over here. Okay, so you get this. Okay, so if you notice over here in vectors, the length of the arrows which we draw, okay, represent the magnitude. Correct? So basically, if you see here, I have drawn this arrow bigger as compared to this. Why so? Because the electric field due to plus Q will be greater. Okay, this will be higher than the electric field due to minus Q. That is why I have drawn this bigger, this smaller. Okay, so the net electric field will be what minus what? So the net electric field at this point is going to be obviously E due to plus Q minus E due to minus Q. Okay, because this is bigger, this is smaller, and they are opposite in direction. So this one minus this one. This is all vectors, correct? Okay, so I'll write it for you over here. So let's write down the description, how it should come in the exam. I'll write it for you. Okay, so here we go. We write, consider an electric dipole. We have considered electric dipole consisting of charges plus Q and minus Q, separated by a distance of 2a and placed in vacuum. Let P be the point on the axial line. So here we have considered a point P on the axial line at a distance of R from the center O, of the dipole on the side of plus Q. Okay, so now we mark the directions of electric field due to plus Q and electric field due to minus Q. So this is the description which you need to write. So next what we are going to do is we are going to write down the individual expression for E due to plus Q and E due to minus Q. That is the electric field due to this plus Q charge, and then we are going to write the expression for the electric field due to this minus Q charge. Okay, so let's see how to write it. So let's first write down the electric field due to minus Q. Okay, so the electric field due to charge minus Q at point P is, okay, so let's represent it as E minus Q with a bar because it is a vector quantity. Okay, so this is going to be, what is the formula? 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So another thing here you need to understand is we haven't taken K epsilon naught. Why? Because we have considered this entire system is kept in vacuum or it is kept in air. So your dielectric constant, that is K, becomes 1. Okay, and this is directly permittivity of free space. It is not permittivity of medium. Epsilon naught is nothing but permittivity of free space. So this electric dipole is placed in vacuum. I have mentioned it over here. Okay, that is, it is placed in vacuum. If you see, okay, it is placed in vacuum. Okay, so 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, which is going to be, the charge is what? It is minus q. Okay, upon the distance. Okay, what is the main formula for electric field? E is equal to, general formula, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, the source charge upon the distance from the source charge square. Correct? So what is going to be the distance now from minus q to point P? If you see, from P to O, that is the center of dipole, it is R. Correct? And from O to minus q, it is A. So the total distance from minus q to P is going to be this A plus R. So A plus R is going to be the distance from minus q to P. So let's put it over here. It is going to be R plus A, that is the distance square. Okay, and since we have a vector over here, on the other side also we need to have a vector. So let's write it as P cap. Okay, what does this mean? Minus P cap meaning, see, the P direction is from minus q to plus q. The electric field due to minus q direction is from plus q to minus q, the opposite. Both are opposite. So basically we have entered this minus sign for a cos. Okay, that only tells you that E and P are in opposite direction. So basically your electric field due to minus q and your P are in opposite direction. That is what is told by this negative sign here. Okay, is that clear? Yes. So next, let's write down for understanding, where P is what? P is unit vector along the dipole axis. Okay, pointing from where to where? From minus q to plus q. Okay, this you can write for your understanding. Okay, so this is your electric field due to minus q charge at point P. Okay, let's move on to the next step, wherein we are going to write the electric field due to plus q charge at point P now. Okay, so let's write down electric field due to charge plus q at point P is. Okay, so what is it going to be? E plus q is going to be, again, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, q upon, now charge is q here. Okay, distance will be how much? From here to here. So from here to here we know it's r. Correct? So can I write this distance as r minus a? Remove this a from this r. Okay, so you get basically this distance, that is from q to P here. Okay, so I want this distance. What I'm doing is r minus, I'm removing a from there. Okay, so basically you get a distance from here. Okay, so I can write this as r minus a the whole square. Okay, now I can put it as positive P cap. Why? Because if you see, P, that is electric dipole moment, and E plus Q are in the same direction. So there has to be a positive sign over here. Okay, so these are basically your electric field due to minus Q and electric field due to plus Q individually. Okay, yes. So now let's add them together. So basically by using the principle of superposition, the total electric field is nothing but the sum of the individual electric fields which are added vectorially. Okay, you have to do a vector addition, not a simple addition. So hence the resultant electric field will be how much? Hence the resultant electric field at point P is, okay, so basically I'll represent it as E axial, okay, because it is a net axial electric field. Okay, so it's going to be E plus Q plus E minus Q. Okay, so we have the statements over here, we have the formula over here. Let's substitute it. Okay, so what you will get? 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon r minus a the whole square plus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught minus Q upon r minus a the whole r plus a the whole square. Okay, P cap and P cap. Okay, this is what you get. Okay, so in the next step what we will do is we'll take whatever is common, we'll take common. So what you will get here is Q is common, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is common, so let's pull it out. What will remain inside the bracket is 1 upon r minus a the whole square minus 1 upon r plus a the whole square. Okay, close the bracket. P is also common, so let's keep it aside this side. Okay, so this is what you get. So now what you need to do over here is solve this. Okay, just solve, expand this and solve this. So what will you get here is, okay, so basically this term will go on top as r plus a the whole square. So it's going to be r square plus 2ra plus a square minus this term is going to go on the other side. So r square minus 2ra. So I'm applying a plus b the whole square and a minus b the whole square. Okay, so r square minus 2ra plus a square. Okay, and down if you see over here, r minus a the whole square is nothing but r minus a multiplied by r minus a. And this is nothing but r plus a multiplied by r plus a. Correct? So this is going to be p cap. So if you see over here, this, if you open the bracket, okay, I'll open the bracket for you. So this is going to be q upon 4 pi epsilon naught. This is going to be r square plus 2ra plus a square minus r square. Minus into minus will become plus 2ra plus minus into plus will become minus. This is going to be minus a square upon, if you carefully see over here, this can be written as a plus b, a minus b. Similarly, here you can write this as a plus b, a minus b. So you can write it as a square minus b square square. Correct? So basically a plus b, a minus b will become a square minus b square, that is r square minus a square. Again a plus b, a minus b will become r square minus a square. So twice, so 2 times, right? So I can write this as square like this. Okay, so if you see here also, r square and minus r square will get cancelled, a square and minus a square will get cancelled. So what you will get in the final step over here is, I'll write over here, this is going to be q upon 4 pi epsilon naught is going to be 4ra, 2ra plus 2ra, 4ra upon r square minus a square the whole square into p cap. This is what you will get. So basically in the exam you can exclude these 2 steps. Okay, this step and this step is not required. You can directly write this step from here to here. Okay, this is just for your understanding purpose. Okay, so this is the step which we got. Okay, so next what I'm going to do over here is, I'll keep 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught as it is. I'll split this 4 into 2 into 2. Okay, into a into this r upon r square minus a square the whole square into p cap. Okay, so if you see over here, okay, so q into 2 times a becomes the electric dipole moment, that is p. Correct? So I can easily substitute this q into 2a, that is p, we know as q into 2a. So I can substitute this as p over here. So I'll get 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, this 2r will remain as it is. This I'll replace as p. So 2pr upon r square minus a square the whole square into p cap. Okay, so now if you see over here, this p into p cap, the unit vector, will be nothing but the vector, that is basically the electric dipole moment. Because why? Because we write, how we write a vector? P is equal to the magnitude of p into the unit vector of p. Correct? So we have the magnitude over here and a unit vector. So you can replace this by the vector quantity itself. Okay, so how will I write this? This is going to be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, 2 p bar into r upon r square minus a square the whole square. You can write it even like this. Okay, since p into p cap is going to be p bar, which will be equal to E axial. Okay, so basically if you see both the sides, they are vectors. Electric field vector this side, that is axial electric field, and p vector over here, that is electric dipole moment, which are in the same direction. It will be in the same direction. So if you see the figure, over here, the electric field, the net electric field, this one was bigger. Correct? No, which was in this direction. Obviously this is smaller than this. So net electric field will be obviously in this direction, that is E axial. because it is bigger minus smaller, correct? So net axial field NP is going to be in the same direction, which is understood from that expression. Okay, supposing you had taken point P on this side, okay, on this side it will be again same. The net electric field is going to be on this side, correct? Supposing I had taken point P over here, since minus Q is bigger, okay, your electric field due to minus Q would have been bigger as compared to the smaller Q, that is E plus Q, okay, and therefore the net electric field will be in this direction, okay, which is same as the electric dipole moment direction. So it will remain, direction will remain same. That is basically, if you consider the point on this side of the dipole or the other side of the dipole, the direction of the net axial electric field will remain same, that is in the direction of electric dipole moment. Okay, so basically you can consider these two expressions as the final expression for the electric field at a point on the axial line of the electric dipole. Okay, so now let us consider one special case over here. Okay, so let's consider a special case. Okay, so in this special case we consider for R very much greater than A, that is basically if this distance R which we have taken, that is from the center to the point P, is very much bigger as compared to the distance between the two dipole, the two charges of the dipole, or the distance A, okay, as we have considered the denominator. Okay, so if this distance R is very much bigger as compared to distance A, okay, then we consider a special case wherein we can neglect this term A square from the denominator over here. So we can write that A square can be neglected compared to R square. Okay, so this is a special case. Okay, so since distance R is very much bigger as compared to distance A, we can ignore this term A square. So if we ignore this term A square, what will be our E axial statement or E axial formula? It is going to be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. I'm writing it with this respect. Okay, it's going to be 2pr upon, I'm removing this A square term, so it's going to be R square square, so R raised to 4 into p cap. So what will happen is this will get cancelled, so it's going to be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 2p upon r cube into p cap. So this is your final statement. So this we call is for a short dipole, that is basically A is very small as compared to R. Such dipole is called as the short dipole. So for a short dipole, E axial will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 2p upon r cube into p cap. Okay, so this is the electric field at any axial point of a dipole expression. Okay, so now what is the analysis based on this? So if you see this expression over here, E axial, okay, is in the direction of the electric dipole moment. Okay, they are both in the same direction since there is a plus sign over here. They are not in opposite direction. Okay, E axial and electric dipole moment are in the same direction. This is the first note, okay, that you have to take care of. And the second thing is the electric dipole at large distances fall off as 1 upon r cube. Okay, so since they are inversely proportional, E axial will fall off as 1 upon r cube over here, if you see. Okay, so this is all about this derivation. In the next class we are going to learn the derivation for the electric field at an equatorial point of the electric dipole. So this is it for today. I'll see you in the next class.